Today I'm going to be reading for you some lore from the game Hades. I completed the game a couple of weeks ago and I promised to my viewers that I would read the lore of these companions. Also, if you want to watch me play this game, you can head over to my other channel after this video and join me with Zacharias on a journey through the underworld. Anyway, for now, let's get to the lore. When Betty first emerged from the darkness, she was overjoyed to learn there was a whole wide world beneath the ground, filled with many wondrous sounds and scents. However, Mother Night instructed her to never fly too far, to stay within the bounds of Tartarus, where it was safe for creatures such as her. Betty heeded the warning, but only for as long as she could stand. One evening, having grown quite restless, Betty flew as far and as wide as she was able, across the meadows of Asphodel, all across the fields of Elysium. Such was her excitement to experience it all. By the time Mother Night discovered what she had done and found her, she was thoroughly exhausted. Now Betty keeps safe whomever she is given to, but can no longer fly as she once did. When Mort first emerged from the darkness, he was frightened to discover he was on the smaller side of the variety of creatures that surrounded him. The world was such a dangerous place. However, Mother Night told him to take heart and to not make too much about his size. It was not to his detriment to be so small. Mort decided to put the idea to the test. He discovered there were creatures even smaller than he, insects, arachnids, and the like, and so he lorded over them, using his size to his advantage. When Mother Nyx found him, he was huddled in a corner, surrounded by tiny creatures, thoroughly terrified of him. Since then, Mort still retains his odd ability to instill fear, though as protector of whomever he is given to, not as tormentor of smallest things. When Rib first emerged from the darkness, he wished more than anything to be as strong as the many heroes who reside within the underworld. But he was distraught by his thin frame, and found there was nothing he could do to change it, no matter how he tried. However, Mother Night cautioned him that he was following a path to greatness very different from the heroes he admired. They were guided not by envy of others. Rib did not believe this. He knew heroes inspired other heroes. Determined to prove himself, he sought to hoist an entire boulder to prove his strength to those he knew. He trained and trained, but by the time Mother Night found him, he was crumbled in a heap. Now Rib no longer seeks to be admired, but is very capable of making himself useful to whomever he is given to. And he is not so preoccupied with heroes anymore. When Shady first emerged from the darkness, he wanted to know who he was, where he came from, and where he belonged. He asked these questions quite insistently of everyone. However, Mother Night suggested that he look inside himself for answers, especially where his belonging was concerned. Some questions cannot be answered by others, she said. Yet Shady nonetheless was quite preoccupied of learning more about himself. He found a creature reminiscent of himself and asked his question of it, hearing only other questions in reply. When Mother Night found him, he was speaking incessantly to his own reflection in the river, having learned nothing at all. Now Shady has accepted his small place in the underworld, lending his sense of determination to whomever he is given to, and he no longer questions who he was. When Shady first emerged from the darkness, she grew very concerned as to why she was forced to slither bodily along the ground, while shades could float about and bats could fly. Why was she forced to move in such a thoroughly ignoble way? It was unfair. However, Mother Night implored her not to be so vain about her sense of justice. Surely there were creatures who envied her. But Shady was unconvinced. She crawled deep into a hole, ashamed and angered by the world's cruelties. Various creatures gathered, concerned for her, and attempted to draw her out, but Shady only dug deeper. She thought they were deceiving her. By the time Mother Night found her, she was very hungry and alone. Now Shady has a new perspective on the world, and she no longer needs to crawl, for she travels wherever whomever she is given to wishes to go. When Antos first emerged from the darkness, he smashed through the very earth, heaving boulders many times his size, until he stood on all 6 legs victorious. He felt prepared to take on any challenge. However, Mother Night urged him to be mindful of his limits. There is always something bigger, something stronger in the world. Antos was undeterred. If he could sweep Night herself from her feet, surely she would recognize his power and apologize. He slid under the rocks and earth, lying in ambush until just the right moment. When Mother Night crossed his path, paying him no heed at all, he seized his opportunity to prove his surpassing strength. He struck Mother Night full in the ankle, but she merely turned to him and sadly shook her head. Now Antos still possesses strength many times his size, though he is very small indeed. I think all of these companions are quite sweet and cute. I didn't have time to read their lores while I was playing on stream, so doing this was actually a lot of fun. Anyway guys, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought about this and which one of these is your favorite. And again, if you want to watch me play through Hades, you can jump over to my other channel, link below in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!